A blessed day to everyone under the sound of my voice this minute. I thank you so much for your support, your love, and everything. Thank you so much for viewing, for sharing, for those who share our videos. A big shout out to the wonderful members of this wonderful family. If you're not part of this family, if you've not subscribed to this family, kindly subscribe, share our videos, turn on your notifications so that anytime we share a video, you will be part of the first to see the video. Thank you so much. And before we go into what we will be discussing today, we'll be talking about the broadcasts, granted by Ifeanyi Ejiofor, where he made some accusations and some statements. In one of the statements, he said that Nnamdi Kanu has sanctioned the arrest of Simon Ekpa, and that is a very contradictory statement, but we'll get into that. And secondly, he didn't even know when he said that he was part of those who conspired to rendition Nnamdi Kanu back to Nigeria. Follow us as we demystify this whole story. But before I go into that, I would like to show you a video of how this whole problem started. When Mazi Simon Ekpa was begging these people to stop and let him be, that he is not challenging their authority, he is not disturbing whatever they are doing, that they should allow him do what he is doing. This wasn't the beginning. Let's take a listen.
There are not those who will advise you. Don't come. You see, let me tell you people, most of the things that are happening are something that is quite avoidable. It is something that is avoidable. It is something that can be controlled. It is not everything. Every time you want somebody to talk, you want to prove somebody wrong, And when somebody like me, pick it up, it will not end well. It will not end well. Leave Simon Ekpa alone. I have said it several times. You don't know the thing I have with Onyendu. You don't know the task Onyendu gave me. You don't know the task Mazi Nnamdi Kanu gave me. Allow me to do this thing I'm doing. Since I am not interfering in your leadership, I am not interfering in your decision making.
So that was how it started. He actually warned them because they were raising propaganda against him, lies and all that against him in the beginning, and he was begging them and telling them to stop, that he's not interfering in their leadership and their decision making and all that. They should allow him do his own work. But they disregarded him, thinking that he's a nobody, that they can't override him and all of that. So he even told them that when he starts, he will not stop until he's satisfied. So he gave them all this warning, and they decided not to listen, and they went ahead with their, propaganda, lies against him and all of that. That was the beginning of the whole thing before he started to fight back. So those who do not know about how everything started, please, you could do well to go and get yourself educated on how this whole problem started. It wasn't Mazi Simon Ekpa that started the whole thing. It was the IPOBDOS and their ERAT and all of that. So if anything should happen, if there should be a correction somewhere, they should be the ones to come and apologize to Simon Ekpa. So let's move into the program of the day. At least you already know where the problem started from and who started the problem. Now, take a listen. Ejiofor went to the radio station and confessed that he was aware that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was brought back to Nigeria. But initially he denied that Nigeria government did not inform him, and he wasn't aware that Simon Ekpa was even brought and even taken to court. Nnamdi Kanu was even brought down to Nigeria and even taken to court without his notice. But in this media outing, he confessed that he was aware. Let's take a listen.
So, and that order has not been complied with, because last year when his doctors made an attempt to see him, personal doctors, Dr. Ifeanyi to see him, he was denied. Because of course he away, since we were brought into the country on 27th of June 2021-27. Because of course he away, since we were brought into the country on 27th of June 2021-27. Because of course he away, since we were brought into the country on 27th of June 2021 to of course, he away since we were brought into the country onto the of course, he away since we were brought into the country onto the of course, he away since we were brought into the country onto the of course, he away since we were brought into the country onto the
of course, he away since we were brought into the country onto the sister of course, he away since we were brought into the country onto the sister of 27.
Now, from the statements you just listened to, he said, but of course you are aware since we brought him into this country. Now, some people will be arguing that this is not clear or that, or some of them will say that he was saying since he was brought into this country. But if you listen carefully, and that's why the slow motion is very important, at the point of the slow motion, you would hear clearly that he said, but of course you are aware since we brought him into this country. Now, who is the we? Is he now part of the oppressors? Is he now part of the people who renditioned Nnamdi Kanu back to Nigeria? He said, but of course you are aware since we brought him into this country. That means that he was part of those who plotted to rendition Nnamdi Kanu back into, not even kidnapped Nnamdi Kanu back into Nigeria. Do you get it? Now, there's something else I would like to show you.
I had caught on that was on Tuesday for an application for order of mandamus to compel the Detainment Authority, which is the DSS in this instance, to allow Nnamdi Kanu access to his medical doctors. Because of course he away since we were brought into the country on the 27th of June 2021, 2021 he has been sick because he was subjected to severe torture, beating, and all forms of inhuman and degrading treatment, which was meted to him by the combined team of Nigerian security agents and Kenyan security agents that participated in that horrendous and operation.
Now, if you listen carefully, you would hear him say that the people responsible, involved in that atrocity, were the Nigerian security agents and the Kenyan security agents. Now, this man is not just any man. This man is a lawyer, and he understands that when he comes out to speak, the cameras are on him, and whatever he says will be in public space. And as such, a lawyer of his magnitude should be able to pick his words carefully. Now, he has indicted the Kenyan government, saying that the Kenyan security agents and the Nigerian security agents were involved in renditioning Nnamdi Kanu back to Nigeria. So how was Ejiofor aware? How was he aware that the people who tortured Nnamdi Kanu, beat him and renditioned him back to Nigeria, that the Kenyan authority was involved in this whole process? How was Ejiofor aware that the Kenyan authority was involved in all of this? The Kenyan government has denied their involvement. They have made statements. They have even said that whatever that was done to Nnamdi Kanu is against the law, both in Kenya, both in international law, and both Nigerian law. Now, I want to understand where and how did Barrister Ejiofor knew that the Kenyan authority, Kenyan police, and the Nigerian security agents were the one who actually went to Kenya and kidnapped Nnamdi Kanu, tortured him in Kenya, and brought him back to Nigeria. How was Ejiofor aware if he was not part of the people who plotted to kidnap Nnamdi Kanu? Can we all ask Ejiofor this question? How was he aware that the Kenyan police and the Nigerian security agents were involved in all of this? Subsequently, Ejiofor has come out to say that Nnamdi Kanu sanctioned the arrest of Simon Ekpa. My question to Ejiofor is this: are you trying to tell us that Nnamdi Kanu is so daft and cannot reason that he would call for the arrest of Simon Ekpa by the same people who he is fighting against? The same people, the same Nigerian police that kidnapped him, that he's fighting against, is the people he is now calling for them to arrest his own brother, Simon Ekpa. That is impossible. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will not do a thing like that. Remember when there was a problem with Father Mbaka? Mazi Nnamdi Kanu came out and said, Mbaka is our brother and we must not fight him. We must defend him, and if we have any problem with him, when we get Biafra in-house, we are going to solve our problems with him in-house. And as such, he directed all Biafrans to defend Father Mbaka. This man has come out to say he's the most trusted of Onyendu, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. And he has also come out to say that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu sanctioned the arrest of Simon Ekpa. But this statement is contradictory. How is it contradictory? I have given you one example. Second example is this. Mazi Ejiofor, who works with the DOS, has also come out to say that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is sidelining the DOS. That means he is not working with the DOS. And he also went further to say that since Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is not working with the DOS, they should draw a red line for him. If he doesn't want to follow with their rules, that they should abandon him to rot in jail. That was what Mazi Ejiofor said, and he works with the DOS. He is one of the media personalities of the DOS. So how will Mazi Nnamdi Kanu be against the DOS, not working with them, not giving them information, and then he will also request for the arrest of Mazi Simon Ekpa? So who will now fight for him? You see how contradictory this statement is? When these people go outside, that's why Simon Ekpa will always say, go outside and grant interview, you will expose yourself the more. You see, when liars come out to say a thing, the next day they want to cover up that lie. The next day they want to cover up that lie. And before you know it, they would give in to so many informations and contradictory statements that they themselves cannot even defend. I thank you so much, Shomo Biafra, for listening to me this hour. This is a food for thought for all of you. Think about it. Think deep into it. You would understand who you should follow and who you should support at this time. At this material time, you should know who to support. Fight with Simon Ekpa. Fight for the liberation of Biafra, and fight for Nnamdi Kanu. Thank you so much.